Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. Today, we're looking into something pretty fundamental, I think, emotional distance.
Mm-hmm. That space that can sort of appear between us and others, or even within ourselves.
Exactly. We've been exploring some perspectives on this silent crisis, as some call it,
Mhm.
thinking about why we create these
What
walls.
the impact is, yeah.
Right. So our aim today isn't just intellectual understanding. We want to try and connect with how this actually feels, how it shows up in our lives, our relationships.
Sort of trace it back. The initial discomfort, maybe.
Yeah.
How we keep that distance going.
And importantly, how we might start to, bridge those gaps.
Yeah.
So consider this our space to just explore these things that often, go unspoken.
It's powerful even just naming it.
Hmm.
Thinking about those times when you want to connect.
Uh-huh.
Maybe with a partner or a friend who feels far away, or even
Mhm.
even facing something difficult inside yourself.
Yeah, that internal distance too.
And there's
Hmm.
this inability almost to take that first step forward, a kind of pull backward.
It's so true. And it's not just in your head, is it? Our bodies often signal this way before we consciously, clock it.
Oh, absolutely, that tightness. Maybe in your chest or your throat,
Yeah.
shoulders creeping up.
Yeah, I get that knot in my stomach sometimes when I'm avoiding something. Have you noticed that yourself, that physical link?
Definitely. It's like the body's whispering or sometimes shouting about the emotional space being created.
And distance isn't just miles, is it? It's often that gap between what's really going on inside,
The feeling.
what we actually show or say.
Right. And it can build so gradually. You hold back a thought or a feeling,
Mhm.
tell yourself, I'll deal with it later.
Later, the magic word.
Yeah. But later often doesn't come, does it? And those little withholdings, they add up. The gap just widens.
That really hits home. That moment you hesitate,
Hmm.
you want to reach out, maybe make that call or bring up that tricky subject,
Mhm.
and that little voice pipes up, will they even care? Is it worth the awkwardness?
Yeah, and right there, you can often feel it physically, can't you? That little clench or heaviness, maybe.
Or emptiness, yeah, like your body's bracing for what? Rejection, disconnection.
Something like that. It anticipates the gap, and it feeds into this cycle, doesn't it?
Explain that cycle a bit more.
Well, maybe there's an initial hurt. Small, perhaps. A misunderstanding, feeling unseen.
Okay.
And instead of moving towards it, talking it out, there's a retreat, a pulling back.
Protectively, maybe?
Initially, yes. But then silence starts to build the wall. Each thing left unsaid, each feeling swallowed. It's like another brick.
And it's sneaky. You don't consciously decide I'm building a wall today.
No, you just sort of wake up one day and realize someone feels miles away emotionally, even if they're right there.
But here's the paradox, right? We think the wall protects us,
Mm-hmm.
but often it just leaves us feeling more vulnerable, more alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the original pain, whatever it was, it doesn't vanish. It's still there, behind the wall.
And sometimes it gets louder.
Often, yeah. Amplified by the loneliness, the longing that the distance itself creates.
So, picturing that wall, what's it like? Thick brick, glass, something else.
It's a useful image to sit with and asking, who is this wall really protecting? And from what exactly?
Because it faces both ways, doesn't it? It keeps perceived hurt out, maybe.
But it also blocks genuine connection coming in.
Yeah. We end up trapped inside with all those unexpressed feelings. They don't just dissolve.
No, they fester sometimes. Like in those examples, Maria not sharing her dreams anymore after feeling unheard.
Or Alex pulling away from his friend after that argument.
Right, the initial event might have been manageable, but the accumulated distance, the weight of everything unsaid, that becomes suffocating.
And our bodies remember this stuff. You mentioned the physical sensations.
Yeah, the body keeps a record. Certain places, certain times, even certain tones of voice can trigger those echoes of distance.
That sudden faster heartbeat or the lump in your throat.
It's like unfinished business surfacing. Our physiology reminding us there's a gap, something incomplete. Our bodies are often the first responders, signaling disconnection before we fully grasp it.
It's a kind of early warning system then. That tension, that unease.
Precisely. It highlights just how deeply our physical and emotional states are intertwined.
And it's not just about others, is it? This distance affects our relationship with ourselves, too.
That's a crucial point. When we wall off from someone else, we're often walling off a part of ourselves, too.
How so?
Every feeling we don't acknowledge, every truth we hide, that's a piece of our authentic self we're pushing away. It leads to this inner fragmentation, this disconnection from who we really are.
Wow. So it's worth asking ourselves, Where does this distance live most strongly for me? Partner, family, friends, myself.
hmm And noticing how they connect, it's rarely just in one area, it tends to ripple
And
outwards.
it feels like a web sometimes.
Again. And maintaining that distance, even if the initial step back felt automatic,
Yeah.
it takes energy, real effort.
Yeah.
Well, consciously or unconsciously, you're steering conversations away from certain topics, you're changing the subject, maybe creating new routines just to avoid potential points of contact.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It drains energy that could be going towards actual connection, towards feeling more alive.
Okay, so let's pause here. We start noticing these patterns, the physical cues, the walls. What's the point of just noticing?
But the noticing is the point. Initially, it's not about judgment. It's not about blaming ourselves or anyone else.
It's just awareness.
Seeing what's happening. Exactly. Seeing how we move, how we relate, how we connect, or don't, both with others and within ourselves. Because seeing it clearly is the first step towards anything different.
So it's an opportunity then.
Yes, an opportunity for understanding, maybe for healing some of those older hurts that started the pattern, and ultimately for finding more authentic ways to be in relationship.
So a question to carry forward, maybe for everyone listening, is what am I keeping at a distance right now?
And just gently wondering, what might happen if I allowed myself to move just a tiny bit closer? What could open up?
Okay, let's dig into the mechanics then. How does this distance actually work? It's not static, right? It's an active process.
Right, it's dynamic. Remember we talked about that initial feeling of relief, maybe, when you pull back.
Yeah, like, phew, avoided that awkwardness.
Exactly. But that often shifts, doesn't it? The relief might fade and turn into something else. A heaviness, maybe, or that tension comes back in the shoulders.
So it's a changing inner state.
It reflects that interrupted need for connection. In Gestalt terms, there's this natural flow, this cycle of contact. Distance often comes from interrupting that cycle. The energy gets stuck.
Unfinished business, they call it.
That's the idea. The energy that wanted to connect gets blocked, withdrawn, and it stays there, kind of buzzing under the surface, seeking completion.
And we develop ways to keep it blocked, right? To maintain the distance.
Oh, very elaborate ways sometimes. Suddenly being too busy or feeling overwhelmingly tired just when connection might happen.
Or rationalizing. They probably don't want to talk anyway. It's easier if I just deal with this myself.
Precisely. And these often become automatic patterns. We don't even realize we're doing it half the time. They feel like necessary protections.
But that's the paradox again, isn't it? The protection backfires.
So often, we withdraw to feel safe, but end up feeling more anxious, more lonely, more cut off. The strategy itself becomes the source of pain.
The paradox of protection. We think the walls keep us safe, but they trap us in isolation.
Yeah. And our bodies know this, even if our minds are telling a different story. Maybe right now, listening, notice. Is there a tightness anywhere? A clenched jaw, fidgeting hands.
What do those mean?
They can be signs of that interrupted energy. Gestalt calls it a creative adjustment. We adapted to survive something, but now the adaptation itself is causing problems. It's become rigid.
In this withdrawal, it's like we're betraying a part of ourselves.
In a way, yes. That authentic part that wants to connect, share, be seen, it gets sidelined, but doesn't just disappear.
Go underground.
And it might pop up as irritability or that free-floating anxiety or even unexplained physical symptoms.
Like the person who stopped sharing their passion after being criticized.
Right. That held-back enthusiasm doesn't just vanish. It might curdle into resentment or frustration that leaks out elsewhere. Interrupting that flow fragments us.
You mentioned figure and ground before. How does that relate here?
Think of the figure as what's most important in the moment, say, our need for connection. The ground is the background context, including our defenses. Distance happens when the ground, the fear, the defenses takes over, pushing the real need, the figure, into the background.
So we're left with this constant background hum of defensiveness.
Yeah, a kind of low-level stress. We're subtly on guard even when there's no real threat.
And that shows up how? Zoning out,
Intellectualizing?
all sorts of ways. Being physically present but emotionally absent. Analyzing feelings instead of feeling them. These were survival skills maybe, but now they limit us.
And the body keeps the score. That phrase really sticks. It does. Our nervous system remembers those interrupted cycles, those suppressed emotions. That's why small things can trigger big reactions sometimes. It's the backlog.
So checking in again. What's the sensation right now? Tightness, warmth, cold. Where is that energy caught?
Just noticing. No need to fix it. And another piece here is projection.
How does that fit in?
We might see in others what we're avoiding in ourselves, thinking they're too busy, when really we're the ones avoiding connection out of fear.
So we put our own stuff onto them.
Unconsciously, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps the internal conflict external, which feels safer, but keeps us stuck. We project our fear of vulnerability by assuming they won't understand.
Is there a way to work with this directly?
One suggestion is to recall a recent distant interaction and
Yeah.
just feel it. Where was it in your body? Don't analyze why. Just feel the physical sense of that distance. Direct experience.
Because our defenses are so good at convincing us that distance is necessary?
They're very persuasive. They promise safety from harm. But often, the harm they're protecting us from is simply the vulnerability of being truly seen, truly connected. The protection itself becomes the cage.
So the core Gestalt idea is awareness itself helps.
Awareness is curative, yes.
Yeah.
Not just knowing about it, but directly, bodily experiencing the patterns. Becoming conscious of how distance feels, how it operates in us. That awareness starts to loosen its grip. Possibility emerges without force.
This operates on different levels, not just between people.
Right. Interpersonal between us and others. Interpersonal within ourselves. Even existentially, our connection to life, purpose. And they all interact, feed each other.
So the invitation is to reflect. What are my patterns? Physical withdrawal, emotional shutdown, intellectualizing. How does it vary in different relationships?
And what's the impact on my energy, my joy, my ability to just be here now? These aren't easy questions, but they open things up.
And recognizing these patterns took time to build, often for good reason back then.
Exactly. So unraveling them needs patience, self-compassion. We need to acknowledge the parts of us that built the walls to feel safe.
So holding the awareness gently.
Gently, yes. Firm enough to contain the experience, but soft enough to allow breathing room. Possibility. Awareness isn't a harsh spotlight. It's like gentle sunlight, allowing gradual unfolding. Being present with what is while staying open.
Okay, we've looked at how the walls go up, how they work. Now, how do we start building bridges? How do we move closer?
That pivotal moment. Choosing, maybe just slightly, to move towards instead of away. It's a step towards authenticity.
Where do we even start? It can feel huge.
Sometimes the simplest act is profound. Just taking a conscious breath in, pause, out, brings you right back here to yourself. Creates a tiny space.
A space for reconnection.
Exactly. Both inside and potentially with others. Because even within the distance, the possibility for connection is always there. The patterns of separation also hint at the path back.
And those body sensations, the tightness, the ache, they're not just problems.
They can also be seen as invitations. Invitations to reconnect with what's being held back.
Because maintaining distance is like saying no to a part of ourselves.
Yeah. The part that wants to reach out, that needs to express something, that longs to be vulnerable and seen. Saying yes to that part doesn't need perfect conditions, just awareness and a willingness to feel what's there.
There was that experiment mentioned, thinking of someone distant.
Instead of focusing on the why of the distance, just gently tuning into any longing for connection you might feel, however faint.
Not acting, just feeling.
Just feeling. Where is it in your body? What's its quality? Shifting the focus from the perceived threat or problem.
To the underlying need, the authentic impulse.
Exactly. Bringing the figure, the real present experience,
Yeah.
back into the foreground, away from the noisy ground of defenses.
And that feels different, maybe uncomfortable, vulnerable.
It can, yes.
Yeah.
Moving towards discomfort isn't easy. It's not about some heroic bravery, maybe, but about being real, aligning inside and outside.
And maybe realizing the pain of staying disconnected is actually worse than the risk of reaching out.
Often, that's the truth we discover. And sometimes, the other person, they might be waiting too.
They might have their own walls up, their own distance.
Exactly. Their distance might just be a different flavor of the same longing. Realizing you're not alone in the isolation, that can be incredibly freeing.
So what are some small steps? It doesn't have to be a huge confrontation.
Oh, absolutely not. Small, conscious steps. A brief text, thinking of you, sharing something small that feels a little vulnerable. Actually, I've been feeling a bit distant lately.
Or even just sitting with the feeling yourself, acknowledging the desire to connect without needing to act immediately.
Yes, even that is an act of bridging the gap internally. Each small step, outward or inward, is like completing a tiny circuit, closing the gap between feeling and expression.
And that creates
Yeah.
space, new possibilities.
It really does. In the relationship, yes, but also in your relationship with yourself. Choosing authenticity over automatic protection. It's like exercising a muscle.
It gets stronger, easier over time.
It can. The first few times might feel awkward, effortful, but genuine contact, authentic moments, they actually create new pathways in our brains, in our relating.
And sometimes just acknowledging the wall is enough to start.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Just seeing it, being present with it, non-judgmentally, honoring the part of you that needed it, that presence can begin the transformation.
So this isn't about neat answers, it's an ongoing exploration.
Completely. A deepening awareness of how connection and distance dance within us and between us, their subtle, powerful influence.
And the awareness itself keeps unfolding, new layers emerge.
That's the beauty of it. It's infinite, in a way. New aspects of ourselves ask for recognition. It's not a problem, it's a sign of being alive, of growing.
So the questions remain, but maybe held more gently. What am I ready to see today? What tiny step feels possible? How do I honor both safety and connection?
Exactly. Questions to live with, to revisit. Because it's not linear. There will be steps back. Old patterns will flare up.
But the awareness changes things, knowing we have a choice.
It changes everything. Knowing you have awareness, knowing there's a choice, even if you don't always take it. Each moment is a fresh start, a new chance for authentic engagement.
And maybe the perspective shifts. The walls don't seem so solid anymore, the distance not so final.
Perhaps you start to see them as human. Understandable attempts to navigate difficult feelings in relationships, expressions of our shared vulnerability.
And in that space, that awareness, things can happen, unexpected connections.
That's where the potential lies. Choosing connection despite the fear, witnessing someone else do it, recognizing we're part of this web and each authentic thread strengthens it.
So bridging distance is ongoing work, a practice.
It is. Each completed cycle, however small, fosters growth. Each authentic connection deepens understanding. Each moment of awareness expands our presence.
So maybe distance isn't just the enemy, maybe it's a teacher.
That's a beautiful way to see it. It teaches us what we need: healing, connection, authenticity. Listening to those lessons, honoring the protection but gently challenging its necessity, that opens us to a much richer way of being.
A journey that continues with every breath, every moment of awareness, creating possibilities for real, messy, beautiful human connection.
Isn't that what we're all seeking, fundamentally?
I think it might be. Well, we hope this deep dive into emotional distance has given you, the learner, some valuable things to think about, perhaps a new lens on the connections in your own life.
Let the questions we've touched on just settle. See what resonates for you, what emerges. No pressure.
Because understanding ourselves, our relationships, it's a continuous journey, isn't it? We really encourage you to keep exploring these themes in whatever way feels right for you.
Yeah. Be gentle with yourself along the way.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We look forward to exploring with you again next time.